when Allison and I were doing the research for our book, Surveillance Education, one of the things we really tried to figure out was how often these data breaches were happening in schools. And we struggled to be able to even get a number because it's not really, transparently documented. So I wonder if you just, in the broader sense, can you give us kind of an idea of how common these data breaches are?
Sure. I think the key point to make here is that we only hear about the data breaches that organizations are forced to confess to. Here in Canada, it's basically obscurity, and the only time that we hear about data breaches, particularly within public education, is when the public goes out and asks questions. The schools themselves don't report these. They don't necessarily have a program that forces them to report on them. Of course, they have policies which include guidelines around communications and PR. But one of the workshops that I present for schools, for educators, for principals, for parents groups shows a map of breaches, particularly as a contrast between the USA and Canada. And there's that the map, which you probably have seen before with school board or school breaches in the US. It's an actual map and it's updated every so often with breaches such as they are, because obviously they're always a subset of the actual number of security incidents that occur within the sector. And north of the border is completely blank because there's no tracking and there's no availability to information. So when you're thinking that in the US there isn't that much availability, in Canada it's complete obscurity. And we ourselves had to go multiple times to our privacy commissioner, which is the highest authority here in Canada that investigates these things, to essentially force them to investigate certain security compromises within some of the largest school boards in Canada. And it took 2 years, even when they did take up those cases. So that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about edtech and about protecting kids in Canada, because that expertise and the interest are both lacking up here north of the border. And in fact, they're lacking everywhere in the world.
Hey detoxers! Thanks for tuning in. You can find Disinfo Detox on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share. Every click helps grow the community and keeps those tech overlords happy. Detox complete.